How do you believe that food deserts affect people with disabilities?
It affects them because a lot of times they don't have other transportation to get to the grocery stores, and also within the inner city, sometimes they don't have disability-friendly walkways, so they can get back and forth if they can have that option available to them. That is affecting them quite a bit.
I am Dr. Scott M. Crawford, SCOTT, middle initial M, CRAWFORD. I live in Jackson, Mississippi, and I'm a transportation advocate. This is us waiting in traffic. It's that bad.
So why are food deserts such an issue in a state that grows so much produce?
That's a very good question. In terms of food deserts, a lot of the major chains have moved out of the inner city.
Everybody needs to have that dietary guide, and they need to be readily available.
Hello, my name is Lee Cole, and I live in Jackson, Mississippi. I've been in Jackson since 2005. I moved from Chicago, Illinois to Jackson.
So you can start whenever you want.
I've been living pretty much independently since I moved back to Mississippi, making some adjustments in living in the South. It's been somewhat of a change, especially around some services that were easily accessible in Chicago that's not easily accessible here. And some of those services are services that we normally take for granted. But with people with disabilities, it becomes more of a challenge and more of a daily challenge to get those services. Since my disability and losing my sight, I've been working here in Mississippi with several organizations for people with disabilities, making sure our rights are respected, making sure we get access to services, making sure people with disabilities get the basic services that they need.
So big question is, what issues do you as a person with a disability have when it comes to accessing food?
My big issue, I guess you could say, is having to just watch everything because I have weird allergies, evidently. My big things are I'm allergic to protein with shellfish. I'm allergic to capsaicin, and because of what's going on in my gut, milk doesn't agree with me, so I have to do skim milk or non-lactate milk. So pretty much it's watching myself, but at the same time it's okay, do I want to even think to eat here because this may risk that, and you know what I mean. But just watch where I go, watch different things, and yes, I'm even bold enough at sometimes that if it's even possible that what I'm about to eat might cause something, I will literally ask for the dietary guide, which is going to list every little minor detail because of my culinary background. So.
Right. What we're going to do, we're going to provide incentives to grocery stores to locate in these areas or stay as opposed to move to suburbs. And we've been doing that, trying to entice people to come back when stores are abandoned by the larger chains. Just recently, a smaller grocery organization took over a Kroger store in South Jackson that was abandoned for quite a while. It created a food desert in South Jackson. Well, the problem I see there is, although that person moved from one location in the inner city to another location in South Jackson, they in fact created a food desert by leaving the location they were in because it was very convenient to a lot of people at the time. But we have to provide incentives to them to locate in these areas, and also look at different tax credits we can give them to stay there to offset the profit they could make in larger urban areas.
And so I guess my final question is, what is the state or more local government doing to make that happen currently?
Right. We're trying to establish better dialogue with local governments in terms of what they need. One thing that I can say that's going on is that we are providing for more farmers markets in this area. So that is allowing people to have access to food. We do have 2 farmers markets right here in the city of Jackson. One vendor moved out of one farmers market to the suburbs, but we're trying to make sure that they have a safe place and they have a very profitable place they can sell their fresh produce to. So those food deserts can become a thing of the past, that we'd be more aggressive in terms of targeting them, and also making sure that we put farmers markets in those areas, and also give independent grocery chains an incentive to locate in those areas. So we have to do that and have a two-pronged approach. Give these grocery stores an incentive to go there and stay there, and also secondly, make it easier for farmers markets to develop in those areas. Make sure they have a safe place so they can operate in a safe manner.
Living an independent life in Jackson, Mississippi is a huge, huge challenge. And we, people that live in Jackson, have it better than most people in rural Mississippi. I mean, think about it. In rural Mississippi, you have to travel miles and miles to get to your nearest grocery store. Here, hopefully it's a mile or less, but there are places in Jackson that have food deserts, so there's that. I mean, I don't want to downplay that too. But for people with disabilities, especially people with mobility challenges or people who are blind, it's life or death to get your groceries. Why? Because we frequently don't have sidewalks at all.
I'm from New York. It's the place I fell in love. It's the place I got my heart broken. And it's the place I learned to be an activist. And I realized the most important thing about being an activist is to listen. If you speak to people and recognize that people are experts of their own experiences, you will learn much more than you ever could going it alone. So I decided to follow those voices, and they led me to Mississippi. Oh, forgive me, for I do not know my kin. I do not know beyond my struggles. I sit with lavish thoughts while they struggle and toil in the sun. Their graves road markers and their bodies turned to dust. For I do not know their struggles. For I sat up on high and did not think to look around. So I waded down in the delta, and I am born anew.